everybody, Charley Hogwood with Survival Dispatch back here again, out here in North Georgia mountains, up near Blue Ridge, Georgia. Just did one video on search and rescue, and now I'm going to do a quick video on the bag that I carried for that I gotta tell you I've fallen in love with. I'm pretty picky about bags. My wife says I like bags and shoes. Well, that's because I love a good tactical bag and I love a good comfortable hiking shoe or a tactical boot. In this particular case, on this search that I did, I took out a Vertx Gamut backpack. This is the bag that I used. It's you see it's still a little bit muddy from crawling around out there in the woods. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to dump some of those things out, talk about some of the stuff I took, why I took it, and just take a few minutes to discuss the bag. It's not about selling a bag, it's about, you know, what did I take out when I needed it on a mission critical situation. So give me a quick second, I'm going to dump this out and I'll show you what I got. Okay everybody, so here's my Vertx Gamut backpack, splayed open, and I've dumped a bunch of junk out of here. So what this is the bag that I took from my search and rescue. It's very similar, and it's actually the base of a bug out bag. But what I did is I stripped down some stuff that I was not going to need if I was out on a search. A search is different than a bug out, but in the terrain that we were operating in, it could have been very possible that we could have been stuck overnight because the weather was moving in. We couldn't even get helicopters to come in and pull us out if we needed to, and we were pretty far out in the mountains. So what I've got is, starting off here, you'll see this big pink and orange thing. That's a military VF panel for signaling aircraft, helicopters. And that's one of those, that's the panel I actually tied to one of the other guys who decided to show up in camouflage for the search. So as you can see, it's super bright, very helpful to see what's going on and locate things and to find so helicopters can see us. One of the things I noticed is watching the helicopters from down below, they couldn't see us. If they're not running thermals, they couldn't see through the trees even with the leaves off. So when we were giving them lat long positions of us directly under them, they were still having trouble see us. So we needed signal panels and stuff to orient them to our location in many cases. Cold weather, so I had a beanie cap with some gloves. I brought a first aid kit. Now this is a pocket EDC first aid kit. It's got a tourniquet, it's got a good pressure bandage, it's got some Celox Rapid, some other things in there. But I also, what I don't have in here right now, is a full-on mini trauma kit, IFAK on steroids, I call it. I left that behind for this trip I'm on right now. Water, I had half a dozen bottles of water with me, but I also had my Sawyer Mini because we were operating near creeks, so I could get water on the go if I needed to. I had a couple of these, so I got this double S.O.L blanket. This one, in case I needed to get in it for some reason, use it for a shock blanket. But I also had that green one up there. You've seen those green ones. Those are heavy duty. You can make them into shelters and everything else. Very handy to have. Strongly recommend that because everything has dual uses. Those kind of things are good for treating shock patients. So if we found somebody alive, then we could get them warm. I had various hanks of 550 cord. I also had them, you know, I had them rigged up like this so I could strip them out real quick in case I needed to get a hold of some cord, and I also had a hank of it all wrapped up. Because we were using cell phones and GPSs, I had portable backup power. This is a backup 10,000 milliamp battery. I also had the cable for that would match the equipment that we were using. The Rite in the Rain notepad with the pencil. A pencil is critical when you're dealing out in that cold, wet weather because ink would run on a pen. So I had my little Bolo Machete because you never know when you're going to need a cutting tool to cut some branches, create a splint, create a papoose, some sort of transportation device, whatever I needed. At least I had a big blade to work with. Fox River military anti-fatigue compression socks over the calf. Amazing socks, love them, wear them all the time. Had a spare pair in my bag. Surveyor ribbon I talked about in the last video. Hang that stuff on trees so people can find you. Got a number of Siloom snap lights. These are very handy to have. I can pop these, drop them, I can stick them on people. We can walk around and see each other in low light conditions. Spare flashlights. This is a ProTac 2A Streamlight. Plus I also had about 3 other flashlights. And my Princeton Tech headlamp. That's got multiple power on it with the big AA pack on the back. Great for working at night, hands-free. So I had also the compass. This is a Sunto MC2. Got a mirror on it. It's got adjustable declination. It's got the clinometer built into it. Very nice compass, kind of like that. I was always particular to the Silva Ranger, but my Ranger developed a bubble in it, so I'm trying out the Sunto. So far I love it. A whistle. Whistle is handy. A good strong whistle, because when you see something or you need somebody's attention, you blow the whistle, and you want to be heard. Gorilla duct tape, always, everywhere. I can use that for all kinds of things. We've talked about that before. A couple of protein bars, some different snacks. I also had some things, some peppermint candies and things like that to give a little bit of sugar. And a fire kit. So my fire kit, I've got Bic lighters. This is something that we came up with years ago. I've got Gorilla tape wrapped around a Bic lighter. I've got jute twine. So the jute twine wrapped around here and placed under the trigger so that the lighter won't trip and lose all my fuel. So that comes in really handy. I got 2 of those. This one here is also a Bic lighter wrapped in Gorilla tape, but inside of here is one of those little folding razor knives. So I've got that. Got some of these little Esbit cubes for fire starters. I got some custom waxies that I made out of. It took a lot of time to figure that out, which ones were going to work, but it was basically cosmetic cotton pads and various waxes until I found something that would work in any temperature, wet or dry. And that's pretty much it. That is my search and rescue kit. Battery's dying on the camera, so I'm going to bail out. Until next time, this is Charley Hogwood with Survival Dispatch Insider.